is where we want you to be at. Everyone's going to be there.
Exactly. So be sure to tune in to the TV if you can't go out and you want to avoid the traffic and the whole jam. But yeah, if you're just tuning in and watching us, Zamil and Zaleha today to talk about the first topic, which is about achieving personal independence.
Yep. So we'd like to say good morning to Professor Dr. Rozieta Shaary. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Prof, you are a post-Merdeka generation.
Yes.
So what's your definition of Merdeka?
I'm not that old. I am after Merdeka.
Yeah. So you're post-Merdeka, right?
Yeah, actually.
What's your definition of Merdeka?
To me, it is being independent is we are able to not to be influenced by, how do you say it? We have the mind of our own, whereby we are taking ownership of what we choose to think and what we choose to follow.
Yep.
We don't do things because other people ask us to do. We do things because that is what we believe in, what it is a conviction that we have. Though we do listen to other people, we have the internal reference and also the outer reference, meaning to say there is a light inside of us, each and every one of us, and that light is called the calling.
Yep.
Calling in the sense that we feel that we know exactly what we want to do, and we know exactly what we should not do. At the same time, if we are only thinking about what will other people say if I do that, then we are not being independent actually.
Yeah.
So that is what we're saying that when we want to achieve personal independence is to be able to be true to yourself.
Right.
You do not just do because you think other people expect that of you.
Yep.
And you do it because what will my neighbor say if I don't do it?
Yeah.
What will my sibling say if I don't do it? Or what will they say if I do it? It is all inside the mind, and meaning when you do that, you are not doing it truthfully coming from you, and because of that, you are having a little bit of problem taking ownership of your action.
So this is your definition of personal independence, which is also in line with Merdeka celebration, right? I think a lot of people, especially during Merdeka, we should also feel like that, right?
Yes. When we talk about Merdeka itself, I first and foremost, when I read back all the history, right, and I was born in 1960. 57 was it's 3 years after that, and I still remember the spirit was still there, and then the stories about what happened and things there. My parents shared the stories, and I just like to say thank you so much for those who have fought for our independence, and we are now in the stage whereby at the time whereby we are living life that is of affluent, and sometimes when we in this kind of life, we forgot how it was when they were fighting for their independence. And at that time, people who fought for the independence, they sacrificed their life, they sacrificed themselves, they sacrificed what they want for the family, in order for them to be able to give themselves to fight for the independence. And this is something that we need to actually remember and actually appreciate. We are being here, having a country that is a wonderful, to me, this is a wonderful country. We need also to remember those people who have fought, and it is not just saying about one race, all races actually has fought for this independence that we are experiencing now.
Yeah, it's a way to embrace independence on a personal basis. Now we tried to think back a few steps. When you said, having your own calling and doing things because you want to. Now living in a society, our elder generation would say, we live in a society. You have to need each other and all that. So how do you draw the balance between knowing what you want and complying to what others expect of us?
Yes, we are a social being, so we are dependent on each other. At the same time, I just like to give this analogy. Yeah, if it is a body, the hand is dependent on the legs for the hand to be able to pick the flag. For example, I have to move my leg, but at the same time, when the hand wants to move, the hand is independent of only the hand can actually grab the flag. So the same thing in ourselves is that we live and we are dependent on each other. We cannot live as one alone, as an island. We are dependent on each other. At the same time, the thing that we need to do, we must be true to our calling, in a sense. Okay, how do I explain this? We do not do things because what people just expect of us, because when we do that, we do not actually be truthful to ourselves. what I am trying to say here is some people are so concerned about what others think of them, that it governs them, that it does not make them who they are. So that is the line that we need to remember. Sometimes we know that, not sometimes, most of the time, we know that, for example, what is the best example that I can quote this morning is that, for example, there are some people who know that some children or some youth who know that this is the calling for him. For example, that to be an artist, it is something that is deep inside the person, and he knows that. And if it is asked of him to do something else, then he has to just follow that. Maybe what happens is that there will be a tug of war. Yet that is not the best example that I can give this morning.
But basically, you should follow your calling.
Yes.
And be passionate about it.
Yes, and be passionate about it. How do you know it is your calling? Because it keeps nagging you.
But how do we instill this feeling of personal independence, personal achievements to different levels of children and then teenagers, and then even in the family unit as a whole, and at the same time at your workplace, to your staff, or even the organization as a whole?
Yes, thank you so much. That actually there's one answer to that applies to all of them. That is to give the person the freedom to make the choice. Because even for young kids, even for little children, we already train them to be able to make a decision. For example, as young as 2 years old, would you like to have the milk or would you like to have an orange juice? So that we already exercise that freedom to actually choose. And there's a story of a mother. She does not have any other drink except for the milk, and what she did was that, do you want this milk to be in a cup or do you want it to be in a glass? So what happened is that little child learned to make the choice, to be able to make the choice, because mankind is the only creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is given the freedom to choose. From the freedom to choose, we have the consequences. So when we understand that, when the child understands the consequence of the choice they make, then the child will take ownership of the life. So when we make the choice for the child or for the youth or for the staff, even for the staff, we need to also exercise the freedom to choose. And with the freedom to choose, there are consequences. So if you don't come on time, it is the freedom to choose, right? Every one of us have the freedom to choose whether to, for example, a person have the freedom to choose whether to go on the bus to work or not, right? If you go, then you go to work. If you stay, okay, I don't want to go to work, that is okay. Right? But there always be consequences, and that is the one that we need to understand.
Now, embracing independence, one has to be grateful with what one has. Now, a lot of youngsters nowadays, they don't actually compare what's happening on the Middle East. People go to the shop and get shot. We can actually go to work, and we can go to school, and we can spend time with our family without having any of those dangers. So how do we instill this feeling of being grateful among the youngsters?
That is a very, very big question, actually. To instill gratefulness is actually on every little thing that we have, and it is to allow them to actually be the example of showing that there is no shortcut to this. We cannot ask someone to do something when we are not willing to go there. So as a leader, as a mother, as a parent, as I say, as a leader, as a teacher, or a lecturer, whatever, if we are in the leadership role, we cannot expect our people to follow or to do things we are not willing to go there first. So how can we instill gratefulness? Is us showing how we are grateful. For example, always being grateful for who they are, not comparing them with other children, for example, other teenagers, other youth, to be able to, wow, you can do this, I am so grateful of that, and build it on that, and instill every day, talk about the thing that you achieve, and help each other to remind. In my house, sometimes I make the mistake as well. But sometimes I do complain about little things, and my children will remind me, "Mommy, be grateful that now we have this," and that is wonderful for me because my children is able to remind me. So that is what I say is that how we are able to instill that gratefulness in anybody, in our children, especially in staff, in our friends. Be the example of it.
Well, a lot of people say that they tend to blame that they cannot achieve these personal achievements or personal independence because of outside factors. But they actually, deep down, they should actually just mirror themselves, and they say that the limit is me. Isn't that true?
Yes, because our life, we are the driver of our life.
So we are our own limitations.
Yes, we are our own limitation, and we are drawing that limitation into our life because this is by the law of attraction. If we understand that, and because the world is governed by the law of attraction, Allah create this world with all these general laws, and one of them is the law of attraction. When we inside of us do not have this conviction and belief that we can do that, so we create that obstacles so that it's justified that we are not able to achieve it. For example, I'm saying it to myself, okay, I want to write books and books and books, and I want to write at least 5 books a year. But at the same time, I have this belief that I'll be able to do that. So I create a lot of excuses, a lot of challenges, so that I will not be able to actually write 5 books. So that is what I'm trying to say. And not only just other people, I'm just also talking about myself.
So things are changing a lot here in Malaysia. Parents are slowly opening up and letting their children decide on what to do. But still, you know, being in an Asian country, we still want that. You know, we still want to monitor what our children are doing. We still want to have a say in what choices they make in their education, and not knowing the fact that, you know, we think we know more as compared to the West. You know, do whatever you want. 18 years old, you're out of my house. So, what's your view on this?
Okay, as a parent, we still need to take, and the word just now was monitoring. It is very important because we live earlier than them. So we have gathered some knowledge, we have gathered some competency, some information that they might not have, and to a certain extent some wisdom. So the thing is this: how can we actually get them to agree on something that we know is good? So that is what we need to have the skill to influence, so that they make the choice out there on their own decision. It is not that you must do this. It is, but oh, mommy, suddenly they realize I would like to do this. But all this while you have been telling them, implement what they call planting it. As you are talking, as you are driving, you are saying about this, and you as a that's what we call conscious parenting. So actually, you are leading that, and same thing with conscious marriage. Sometimes a wife is a driver from the back seat.
Now most of the time that's really
Okay, I shall not argue. Well, Dr. Rozieta, it's a pleasure to have you here this morning and tell us about achieving personal independence. In light of this, maybe, you know, before we let you go, maybe you can wish all Malaysians out there your Merdeka wish.
I would like to wish everyone that's watching happy Independence Day, Selamat Merdeka. And the thing is, to be Merdeka is to ask ourselves what exactly that we are free from thinking about what others think about us. And as it's janji ditepati, so what are our janji that we need to tepati, and that will actually help ourselves to feel that we are a wonderful person. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good long weekend.
We would like to hear about what our fellow Malaysians have got to say. What's their definition of independence? What does Merdeka mean to them? So let's see this clip.
Let's take a look.